Prince Okwatobida was the pride of the Igala kingdom. Born into royalty, he was destined for greatness from the very beginning. His birth was celebrated with grand festivities, and the villagers believed he was a gift from the gods. As he grew, it became clear that he was no ordinary prince. His presence commanded respect and admiration from all who met him. Tall and strong, he moved with the grace of a leopard. His agility and strength were unmatched, making him a formidable warrior. He trained tirelessly, honing his skills and preparing for the day he would lead his people into battle. His movements were fluid and precise, a testament to his dedication and discipline. His skin was the color of rich earth, and his eyes held the wisdom of 1,000 elders. Those who looked into his eyes saw a depth of understanding and compassion that was rare for someone so young. He was a man of few words, but when he spoke, his words carried weight and meaning. Okwatobida was known for his bravery in battle. He led his warriors with courage and determination, never backing down from a fight. His strategic mind and fearless spirit made him a legendary figure on the battlefield. He inspired his men to fight with honor and valor, and they followed him without hesitation. He fought like a lion, defending his people. The people loved him. They saw him as their protector, a beacon of hope in times of trouble. His bravery and strength gave them the courage to face their own fears and challenges. He was more than just a warrior. He was a symbol of resilience and determination. They called him the Lion of Ida. This title was not just a reflection of his prowess in battle, but also of his leadership and the fierce loyalty he inspired in his people. The name became synonymous with strength, courage, and honor. It was a title that he wore with pride, knowing that it was a testament to his dedication to his people. "I am honored to serve my people and defend our land." These words were not just a declaration, but a vow that he lived by every day. He understood the weight of his responsibilities and embraced them wholeheartedly. His commitment to his people was unwavering, and he was always ready to put their needs above his own. Okwatobida was also a man of honor. He upheld the traditions and values of his ancestors, ensuring that the legacy of the Igala kingdom was preserved. He participated in ceremonies and rituals, understanding their importance in maintaining the cultural heritage of his people. His respect for tradition was evident in everything he did. He respected his father, the king. Their relationship was built on mutual respect and admiration. Okwatobida looked up to his father, Idoko, as a role model, and sought his guidance in all matters. The king, in turn, saw the potential in his son and nurtured his growth as a leader. Their bond was a cornerstone of the kingdom's stability. He treated everyone with kindness. Whether they were nobles or commoners, Okwatobida showed the same level of respect and compassion to all. He believed that every person in the kingdom had a role to play and deserved to be treated with dignity. His kindness endeared him to the people, making him a beloved figure in the kingdom. Even his father's many wives admired him. They saw in him the qualities of a great leader and a compassionate human being. His charisma and charm made him a favorite among the royal household. He treated them with the same respect and kindness that he showed to everyone else, earning their admiration and support. Well, almost all of them. There was one who remained skeptical of his abilities and intentions. She watched him closely, waiting for him to prove himself. Okwatobida, however, was undeterred. He understood that earning the trust and respect of everyone would take time, and he was willing to put in the effort to do so. Omele was the youngest of the king's wives. She was not just any wife, she was the one who stood out among the rest, not only because of her youth, but also because of her striking beauty and enigmatic presence. She was beautiful, with skin like honey, and eyes that could charm a snake. Her beauty was the talk of the palace, and many whispered about her mesmerizing gaze that seemed to hold secrets untold. But Omele was also ambitious. Beneath her serene exterior lay a heart that burned with a desire for more. She was not content with just being one of the many wives. She wanted to carve out a place of prominence for herself. She desired power and wealth. The treasures that adorned her chambers were not enough. She yearned for the kind of influence that could bend the will of the kingdom to her desires. She wanted to be the most important woman in the kingdom. Her ambitions knew no bounds, and she often dreamed of the day when she would sit beside the king, not as a mere wife, but as the queen.
"I will rise above them all." Omele's determination was unwavering, and she often whispered these words to herself as a mantra, a promise of the greatness she believed she was destined for. "I will be the queen." This was not just a wish, it was a declaration of intent. She envisioned herself wearing the crown, ruling with wisdom and strength, and being revered by all.
Omele set her sights on Okwatobida. She desired him. Okwatobida was not just any man, he was a figure of power and influence, someone who could help her achieve her lofty ambitions. She began to appear wherever he was. Whether it was in the grand halls of the palace or the serene gardens, Omele made sure she was always within his sight, a constant presence that he could not ignore. She whispered compliments in his ear. Her words were like honey, sweet and enticing, designed to captivate his attention and win his favor. She sent him gifts of silk. These were not just tokens of affection, but strategic offerings meant to showcase her wealth and the lengths she was willing to go to win his heart. But Okwatobida saw through her facade. He was no fool, and could sense the underlying motives behind her seemingly innocent gestures. He knew her heart was filled with greed. Okwatobida understood that Omele's actions were driven by a desire for power and control, and he remained wary of her every move, determined not to fall into her trap. Omele, having exhausted all her seductive grace, resorted to diabolical means. One hot afternoon, when she was sure her charm has been perfectly honed with the help of the chief priest of the supreme deity, she approached Okwatobida boldly while he was having a nap in the palace garden.
My prince, you are wasted on those silly girls in the village.
She leaned closer, her magical perfume filling the air.
Stay with me. I can give you everything you desire.
Okwatobida could not resist, as his spirit has been caressed to docility by the evil perfume. And so, he slept with her. His senses were restored after the taboo was committed. He felt dirty and frustrated. His spirit was dampened by the guilt of dishonoring his father's bed. He felt a little peace because he knew it wasn't ordinary. As time passed, he felt true peace had deserted him. Omele tried to relish his manliness with his senses intact. He turned down her move with brazen anger. Omele's eyes flashed with anger.
You will regret this, she said.
That night, Okwatobida couldn't shake off the feeling of dread. The air was thick with tension, and every shadow seemed to whisper secrets of impending doom. He paced back and forth in his dimly lit room, his mind racing with thoughts of what could go wrong. The palace, usually a place of comfort and security, now felt like a cage closing in on him. He went to his sister, Omokwo. She was in her room. The flickering flame cast eerie shadows on the walls, mirroring the turmoil in Okwatobida's heart. He hesitated for a moment, wondering if he should burden her with his fears, but he knew he had no choice. She was wise and kind, the only one he truly trusted. He told her everything. Omokwo listened patiently, her eyes never leaving his face. She could see the fear etched in his features, and it pained her to see her brother so distressed. She reached out and took his hand, offering him a small measure of comfort.
Brother, you are in danger. Her voice was barely above a whisper, but the urgency in her tone was unmistakable. She knew that the situation was dire, and that they had to act quickly if they were to survive. Omele will not forgive this insult. We must leave now. Omokwo's words sent a chill down Okwatobida's spine. He knew she was right. Omele was not a woman to be trifled with, and her cunningness was legendary. They had to escape before it was too late.
Together they crept out of the palace. The corridors were dark and silent, the only sound the soft padding of their feet on the cold stone floor. They moved quickly and quietly, their hearts pounding in their chests. Every creak and groan of the old building seemed to echo their fear, but they pressed on, determined to escape. They ran through the night, the moon their only guide. The landscape was bathed in an eerie silver light, casting long shadows that seemed to dance and shift as they passed. They didn't know where they were going, only that they had to escape Omele's trap. The forest loomed ahead, dark and foreboding, but they had no choice but to enter. The trees closed in around them, their branches reaching out like skeletal fingers. The path was treacherous, and they had to be careful not to lose their way. But despite the danger, they pressed on, driven by the hope of finding safety and freedom. The next morning, chaos erupted in the palace.
My king, your son, he attacked me. He tried to force himself upon me.
The king, seated on his throne, looked upon Omele with a mixture of shock and rage. The king was furious. He loved his son, but Omele's tears and her apparent distress were convincing. He banished Okwatobida from the kingdom. The king declared that if his son ever returned, he would be put to death. As the days turned into weeks, whispers of doubt began to circulate. A few servants had seen Omele sneaking around that night. They knew her tears were fake.
They tried to tell the king, but her sorcery and slyness silenced them all.
Meanwhile, Okwatobida and Omokwo were deep in the wilderness. They lived off the land, their hearts heavy with sorrow. Okwatobida could not believe his father had believed such a lie, but he quickly remembered the magical prowess of Omele, the daughter of the chief priest. Life in exile was harsh. Okwatobida and Omokwo faced wild animals, scorching sun and torrential storms, but their bond grew stronger with each challenge they overcame. He became a skilled hunter, providing food for my sister.
And with his knowledge of herbs, Omokwo tended to his wounds and kept our spirits high.
They never gave up hope. They believed that one day the truth would come out, and that they would return to their kingdom. He was a warrior, and the wilderness had sharpened his senses. He knew his life was in constant danger, but he was determined to survive, to clear my name. I had to expose Omele's treachery. The story of Okwatobida and the wicked Omele spread far and wide. Would the king ever discover the truth? Would Okwatobida return from exile to claim his rightful place? The answers, like the whispers of the wind through the savanna grass, remained elusive. But even in the darkest of nights, a single ember of hope continued to flicker. The spirit of Okwatobida, the true lion of Ida, was not so easily extinguished.